Morning folks, I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters and the Pathfinder School. What I thought we'd do today real quick is, I'm just outside the overhang of my shop, so I've got plenty of access to tools. I've got an axe handle here that's broken, that was returned from a customer. And my honest opinion is, I can see a spot right here where this axe has hit the stump on an overswing, or hit the wood that was being attempted to be chopped, and it split the back of the handle here upon impact here. So really this was probably whoever was swinging this axe's fault that the handle broke. However, we went ahead and replaced the axe for that customer, and now I'm going to use this axe as a teaching tool for this video. So I've got a replacement handle here from SA Wetterlings, and this is a Wetterlings Carpenter's fine forest axe, I think they call it. It's basically a carpenter's axe. And I'm going to replace the handle in this axe. Now, because I have a shop full of tools over here, I could just cut this thing off, drill it out, put it on the new handle, ready to rock and roll. But in the woods, it may not be that simple. So what do you do if you have to replace an axe handle in the woods? Well, I have done videos on making quick on-the-fly handles for axes and hatchets in the field. But what I've not done is, I've not made a video on how to get the old handle out of your axe. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to burn it out. Stay with me and we'll get started. Okay, so I've taken my buck saw now and cut the handle, the broken handle off of this axe. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a little spot in the bottom of my fire pit here, a small trench. It's kind of good that we have a wet fire pit right now because we don't want the blade to get hot. So we're going to bury the blade down here in the dirt, and we're only going to leave the part that we want to burn out exposed. And I'm going to pack dirt in here pretty good around this head because I want to insulate it really well. So I'm going to go ahead and pack quite a bit of dirt and rocks around that so that blade area that we want to keep sharp is not exposed at all to the fire. So we'll just keep burying it just like we were doing a fence post here. You just keep putting dirt around it. Keep packing it down until we get it mounded up around there. Just like this. And then we're going to build our fire right here above that level, just where we want to burn that head out. Where we want to burn this handle out of the head, I should say. And we don't need a giant fire. We just need something big enough to get that burned out of there. So now we're going to come in here and just build our fire around that. Real quick and dirty like this. Wood shavings from another project make a real easy fire starting. Especially if you got that magic fire starting tool called a lighter. All right, now we're just gonna take some scraps of wood here. Get ourselves a fire built up here. Okay, so what we're trying to do now is we're just trying to keep the fire contained to right there where the axe head's at. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but it's right in there. You can see it's starting to char the actual handle. And that's what we want to happen. And once we are convinced that that's charred all the way through and burned, we'll let this thing cool down. We will not pull it out of the fire because there's going to be a lot of heat contained in the head itself right here where the handle's at. If we pull it out of the fire and out of the insulation, that heat's going to rise straight up the blade to the cold area. And it's going to ruin the temper on our axe. The whole reason for burying the axe head or burying the blade was to not ruin the temper, to insulate that from the heat. If we pull it out, we take away all that insulation and the heat will rise right up through the blade just like it would in any other tempering process, and you're going to take a chance on ruining the temper in that blade. So what we need to do now is we just need to let this fire burn out, let it completely cool before we attempt to pull our axe head out and just get the handle scraped out of there with our knife or whatever, a stick, something sharp that we can dig down in there and dig it out with. Okay, I think you can see how that handle in that axe has burned and shrunken down. Should be fairly easy to remove it now. I may even try to push it out while the axe is in the fire. But I'm not going to take the axe out of the fire pit until it's completely cool. Now, one of the things that I'll do once my fire burns out pretty much is I'll get all the coals in the coal bed scraped away from the axe. You still got some burning material inside the eye of that axe until you can scrape it out. And you can use your awl or any sharp object to get that out of there after the fact. But right now, again, you don't want to pull this axe out until it cools down to where you can touch it. Remember that heat rises. So the heat's not being transferred down into the blade of your axe because it's underground, it's insulated. The heat's rising up through the pole right now on the back of the axe. So you want to let that thing cool naturally until you can touch it with your hands. Then you can pull it out and you can start to remove what's left of the remnants of the old handle to insert the new one. Okay, so the fire has burned down enough now that the head is cool to the touch, or at least comfortable to the touch. It's still warm, but not warm enough it's going to transfer any heat. And I can actually push on this piece that's left in the eye and probably push it completely out just by hand. There it is right there. So now we can pull our axe head out and take a look at it. And if we didn't get any color transfer into this blade where it was shiny, we didn't hurt the temper of that axe any. If this thing didn't turn blue or anything, we're in really, really good shape. You can see this thing didn't change any color at all in that axe other than where it was burned up in here. It was completely insulated, so we're in good shape there. Now all we have to do is put this thing back on a new handle and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, guys, well, that was just a quick video on an old school way to get the handle out of an axe. If you don't have tools at your disposal to drill it out or something like that, this works very, very well. And it does not take that long. As long as you're careful with what you're doing, you're not going to hurt that axe a bit by doing it this way. It took about 20-25 minutes all said and done to get that done, and I was able to push that plug out with my finger. Didn't even have to worry about digging it out after the fact. I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I wish you a very happy 2016, and thank you for everything that you've done for our school, for our family, for our business, for all our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends in 2015 and years past. I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.